having fun around. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to Fallen Phoenix Films. Check out some more of our videos. And
behind the scenes. Come on. Behind the scenes.
Stay rad.
Tonight, we take a look at the former UW Oshkosh IT specialist who stole equipment from the university.
Then discuss the global impact of the coronavirus.
I'm Andrew Hayes.
And I'm Alexandra Miladinovich.
And you're watching Titan TV News.
From the Titan TV studios on the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh campus, this is Titan TV News. Bringing you the stories that matter to you. From the campus, the community, and beyond. Student-made, student-produced. This is Titan TV News, live at 4.
Our top story tonight, former UW Oshkosh IT specialist Michael Van Vonderen has been charged with theft of movable property for allegedly stealing university equipment and selling it to local pawn shops. The hearing was set in a February 6th court proceeding. If convicted, Van Vonderen could be fined up to $25,000 or sent to prison for a maximum of 10 years or both. According to court records, he admitted to stealing equipment in September 2019. An audit team documented missing items and found that over $28,000 worth of university property was not recovered. Van Vonderen signed a bond in December prohibiting him from having contact with UWO besides traveling through campus. The bond was amended to allow him to be on university property for employment purposes because his lawyer, Daniel Musa, says Van Vonderen is employed as a delivery driver and has to stop on campus to deliver food.
The Oshkosh Public Museum has a new exhibit available for public viewing. Reporter Andrew Booker has the story.
This week, I had a chance to meet with Deborah Daubert at the Oshkosh Public Museum to discuss their newest exhibit entitled From Then to Now.
The exhibit Then and Now takes old photographs from the museum's collection, and we chose several, and then we set out a call to photographers to reimagine them in today's world. And we had 4 photographers that responded to the call, and they did a marvelous job of reinventing or re-seeing an old image.
Some of the photos on display date back to the late 1800s.
I think people will be amazed by the photographs, the historic and the modern eye that's taken it in. And there's some little tricks that the modern photographers have pulled on people.
This is Andrew Booker reporting for Titan TV News.
You can check out the exhibit until May 24th. Also this Saturday, the museum will be hosting an event about pinhole photography from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m.
3 individuals from Oshkosh West High School received recognition for their bravery last Thursday. A student, a teacher, and a resource officer were honored as hometown heroes in the state capitol for their actions during a stabbing in their school. On the morning of December 3rd, a series of loud bangs were heard near teacher Ken Levine's classroom. Resource officer Mike Wissink was stabbed by a student who then shot the teen in response. This prompted the school to enter a lockdown. Levine jumped to action holding down the perpetrator and used his belt as a tourniquet to slow the bleeding. Meanwhile, Dua Ahmad led over 100 of her classmates to her mosque across the street from the school. The doors to the mosque were locked, but luckily Ahmad knew the door code to get inside. Mike Wissink, the officer who was stabbed, is currently on a medical leave of absence with his arm in a cast.
The planned renovation of the Buckstaff Planetarium has hit a speed bump. Currently closed for health reasons, meetings about the renovations were taking place before the merging of UW Oshkosh, UW La Crosse, and UW Fox Valley. But due to the Fox Valley having a functioning planetarium, the plans for the Buck staff were unclear. Joanne Reif, who headed many meetings where the renovation was discussed, has said that the renovation project is, quote, moving forward, just not as it was originally scoped out, end quote. On Wednesday, contractors whom Reif is hoping will take up the renovation work were given a pre-bid tour of the Buckstaff. Abatement of the planetarium is currently planned to begin the week of April 13th.
Materials for meth making were found in an Appleton home on Thursday of last week. Located on the 1300 block of West Rogers Avenue, police issued a search warrant which led to the beginning of a meth lab. Around 10:30 a.m., officers removed the materials from the home and took one person into custody who was later released. Officer Megan Cash said that there has been suspicious activity in the area that was reported to the police by the residents of the neighborhood. Many people were coming and going from the home, followed by other unusual activity that was abnormal for the neighborhood. Through there was a range of meth-making materials confiscated, there were no signs of an active meth lab, and the public is safe. Investigators are still working towards finding out who else was involved with the purchasing of the materials.
This past week, reporter Andrew Hansen sat down with a few members of UW Oshkosh Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization to see what the organization was all about.
I got to sit down with Parker Schmidt and Mindy Wolf of Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization to get a feel for the organization.
So I would really like to see CEO continue to grow, as well as continue to have opportunities for entrepreneurial students to grow and learn. So really the vision is to continue to grow in the organization with passionate people and just kind of see where it goes from there, getting speakers, hosting events like workshops in order to keep people interested in entrepreneurship on campus and kind of grow a culture of entrepreneurship as well.
CEO is an excellent way to network.
At events, sometimes the speakers will ask who has different companies and who runs stuff and who has experience with entrepreneurship. So that's always interesting just to see who's actually doing something outside of school, and that always sparks a conversation that, can happen after the event is over.
Despite seeming so, CEO isn't necessarily exclusively for business majors.
One of my favorite parts about CEO is that it's for all majors. Anybody can show up. We have people on the executive board that aren't business majors. We have communications majors. So it's just cool to see how people from all over the campus can come and get something out of the events.
I'm Andrew Hansen with Titan TV News.
When we come back, we hear what's happening in the world with Cody Barnes.
And later, state and national news.
All this and more right here on Titan TV News. Stay tuned.
Do you like free TV?
Oh, I love this idea.
Check out Titan TV's Video on Demand. You can find the latest shows and classic content.
I should check it.
Everything is made and produced by students. Take a look at titan-tv.org.
The heart of the entertainment industry may be hundreds of miles away in Los Angeles, but you can still get entertainment experience in Wisconsin. Where? Right here on the UW Oshkosh campus at Titan TV. Learn how to work a studio camera, run the teleprompter, or even produce your own TV show. Email us at titantv@uwosh.edu to get involved today.
Stories are something that you watch, something that you enjoy hearing, something that you can imagine. And as radio, TV, film students, stories are something we express, something we tell. They are something we create. Because in the end, we are the storytellers.
And this is the Titan World News Corner. A documentary filmmaker and journalist, Jules Ong, took to social media on February 22nd to emphasize the destruction of the largest rainforest nursery in Malaysia. The rainforest covers 200 acres consisting of 1,200 species of rainforest trees. James Kingham, an 84-year-old retired planter, runs a rare tree nursery that brought this rainforest to life by planting over 2 million trees in 20 years. Today, those trees are being bulldozed by the Purack Corporation, who purchased the land after Kingham's lease for the land was not renewed by the state. The manager of the Tropical Rainforest Tree Research Center is now in a fight against the corporation alongside her trained staff. In their efforts to stop the destruction of the rainforest, they found themselves in standoffs with tractors taking down the trees. Despite their best efforts, they were able to only save 2,000 trees. A Holocaust-themed parade in Spain has caused a global outrage. The parade took place this past Monday and featured dancing Nazis, death camp prisoners, and a float with a crematorium chimney. Death camp prisoners waved around Israeli flags as men dressed in Nazi uniforms marched down the streets of the small town of Campo de Criptana in the Castilla-La Mancha region. The El Chaparral Cultural Association, the carnival troupe that organized the Holocaust-themed part of the parade, has since apologized, claiming they had no intention of offending anyone. The Israel Embassy in Spain condemned the parade, stating that it mocked the death of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust. It has since been 33 years since the start of the Free Tibet campaign that advocates for Tibetans' human rights. Tibet borders China to the southwest and India to the northeast. According to the Free Tibet website, every aspect of Tibetan life is still under siege. China has repeatedly violated UN conventions through extensive use of torture of Tibetan prisoners. China is continuing to use Tibet's natural resources such as gold, copper, water to expand its economic and industrial interests. 2 million Tibetan nomads have been displaced from their resource-rich homes, and any that protest are met with imprisonment, torture, and lethal force. The nomads, who have no urban environmental skills and have been facing poverty, unemployment, and social exclusion. Prisons all over Tibet are full of people detained for the crime of expressing their desire for freedom. Tibetan citizens are imprisoned for waving Tibet's flag, sending information about conditions abroad, and calling for the return of the Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. Following the 1959 Tibetan uprising, the Tibetan Buddhist Dalai Lama fled to India and, at the age of 84, is very concerned about his successor, as atheist China plans to appoint the new spiritual leader of the people of Tibet. For more information, visit freetibet.org. Global concerns over the coronavirus outbreaks are on the rise as over 59 countries around the world have reported confirmed cases. Worldwide death tolls for the coronavirus are nearing 2,900, confirmed cases being around 83,000. Peter Marks, director of the FDA's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, said that human trials for a vaccine are underway, saying, "We're hoping in the next quarter or two there will be a vaccine that will be ready to move." The coronavirus outbreaks have sparked worries on Wall Street as investors fear a global pandemic has resulted in the failing stocks. Thursday, it was reported by CNN that the Dow had dropped 1,191 points, the most in history. The stock market concerns stemmed from new reports from the Wall Street Journal, noting that the first instance of community transmission had occurred in California, followed by 2 other infections. There are currently 60 reported cases in the United States, and the stocks continued to tumble as fear of a global recession are present, following the first case in Nigeria. The death rate of those infected is still very low, though. Scientists do not have an official rate. With current data, the rate reported deaths is about 0.03%. To put that into perspective, the fatality rate of the flu is about 0.01%. Most fatalities with coronavirus are present in the elderly, those with immune system problems, and in children. At this time, the CDC doesn't recommend the use of face masks, but the N95 mask is the recommended protection, as common surgical masks do not keep the virus particles out. And when we come back, state and national news. Stay tuned.
I'm Ben Peters, Chief Creative Officer of Film Society here at the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh. Here, we produce cinematic masterpieces and only accept the elite filmmakers of UWO. Film Society is actually a UW Oshkosh student organization that gives all students the opportunity to get on film productions. By joining Film Society, you can learn from other students and discover your passion for the industry. Come join us and grow your love for filmmaking.
Ah yes, the woodland stream. Almost nothing matches its majesty and splendor. The water is always changing, always flowing, like shows or programming from a TV station. Titan TV, now streaming on Roku and Apple TV. Download the Cablecast Screenweave app.
Habitat loss and climate change has been researched in correlation to North America's decline in birds. North America has lost 3 billion birds, or 29%, since 1970. Scientists and researchers are concerned about the immense decline that is happening, mostly in the eastern parts of the United States and Wisconsin. The study was conducted over a period of 48 years, keeping track of over 500 species of birds across continental North America. Habitat loss also plays a key role in the decline of birds. With higher populations and the increase of urbanization, more resources are being used, including the loss of habitat. Habitat loss has more effects than a decrease in birds, as invasive species are making their way to the area while landscape and water quality are degraded. Other threats to birds like window and vehicle collisions kill over 800 million birds each year. Although bird populations are declining, it was reported that waterfowl numbers are up about 56% since 1970, thanks to conservation into wetland protection and restoration.
5 people were tragically shot and killed at the Molson Coors headquarters in Milwaukee last Thursday.
Active shooter, report of 1 person shot at Miller Coors.
An armed employee storming a Milwaukee brewing complex Wednesday, gunning down 5 people.
We have located 5 additional deceased adult victims. The victims all worked at Molson Coors.
Police say the 51-year-old man eventually turned the gun on himself.
5 families, 6 families actually, are grieving and will be grieving because of this horrific act of this individual.
More than 1,000 employees were working on the sprawling campus when they began receiving text and email alerts about an active shooter.
Find a safe place, active shooter on campus. Police are on scene, remain on lockdown.
Dispatch from one fire engine call the scene a war zone.
Hold on, companies, hold on, companies. They do not have to shoot it down. It is an additional victim.
The names of the victims have not been released, nor has the motive of the shooter. A local company, Brew City Brand, announcing they're making Miller Strong shirts to help raise money for the families of the victims. In Milwaukee, I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
Tax incentives given to major corporations are being reconsidered following backlash from the failed Amazon HQ2 project. The HQ2 project promised to create 50,000 high-paying jobs for a selected community. Cities across the nation offered to give free land to Amazon in exchange for setting up in their city. Ultimately, Amazon chose to split the project between Northern Virginia and New York City. However, Amazon quickly backed out of the deal following an analysis that showed many of these deals never pan out. Princeton economist Owen Zeider found that state and local governments pay out an average of $119,000 in tax incentives for every job created. This echoes the deal established by President Trump to bring the Chinese electronics manufacturer Foxconn to Wisconsin. Foxconn promised to bring 13,000 jobs to Wisconsin in exchange for $3 billion in tax incentives.
Robocalls time and time again have proven to be frustrating to the citizens affected by them, and they appear to be on the rise. Wisconsin residents received more than 515 million robocalls in 2019 alone, an increase of nearly 100 million from the previous year. The 414 and 608 Madison area code seem to be affected by most of these scam calls. President Trump signed a new law that will increase fines on all robocall violations and will give the Federal Trade Commission more time to address the issue. While many people hope that the new law will alleviate the problem, Officials say more needs to be done. Do not answer suspected robocalls, do not press any buttons on your phone if you do, and speak to your carrier for more information on blocking scammer calls.
When we come back, we'll go to Corey Sparks for the Titan Sports Update.
All this right here on Titan TV News. Stay tuned.
So Buddy Boot Camp is a great way for our student population here at UWO to grab a friend, a roommate, a classmate, and come together as a large group and go through a big, exciting workout that's put on by our personal trainers here at the rec.
We burn 1,128 calories.
That's a lot of calories.
People should participate in Buddy Boot Camp because research shows that if you have that social accountability, you're more likely to adhere to your workout program.
People are very friendly, very outgoing, and they really want to encourage you no matter where you are in your health journey.
I would recommend this. It's definitely something to kind of meet new people here and get in shape, see some new workouts.
Welcome back. I'm Corey Sparks with your Titan Sports Update. On Saturday, February 22nd, the Oshkosh men's track team beat out 11 other teams. It was their last competition before this weekend's Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Men's Indoor Track and Field Championship. Oshkosh's very own Jalen Grant, the victor of the 60-meter dash, defeated 55 other sprinters and achieved the school record with a time of 6.81 seconds. Other great performances include Jameel Brantley in the long jump, taking first with his season-best jump of 23 and 6 3/4. This distance puts Brantley at 9th in the nation. Stephen Potter took first in the mile run against 55 other contestants, earning his season-best time of 4:15.91. More success came in the 1,600-meter relay, with runners Todd Beadle, Ethan Birch, Adrian Jerome, and Amitai Wheat placing first with a time of 3:16.83. The women's track team took second place among 13 other teams. Title winners at the event included Libby Geisness in the 800-meter run, Sadie Huth in the 60-meter hurdles, and Amanda Von Den Plas in the mile run. Geisness's first place ran her season-best time with 2:15.76. Huth also had a season best in the 60-meter hurdles with another season best of 9.12 seconds. Van Den Plas finished with a mile time of 5:18.47. The fourth annual WIAC Men and Women's Indoor Track and Field Championship will go on today and into tomorrow at the Kolf Sports Center. Titan men's basketball is moving on to the WIAC Championship Final. Oshkosh won a 76-68 nail-biter against UW La Crosse in overtime last night to move on. The Titans were led in scoring by seniors Adam Fravert and Jack Flynn, as well as Will Mahoney. These three Titans contributed a total of 59 points to Oshkosh's winning effort. The Titans will be hosting the UW Eau Claire Blue Golds at the Kolf Sports Center tomorrow night for the WIAC Championship. If you cannot make it to the game, you can watch it live right here on Titan TV at 9 p.m. Titan women's basketball is also moving on to the WIAC Championship Final. Last night, Oshkosh defeated UW Whitewater 81-65 in Whitewater to move on in the tournament. The Titans outshot the Warhawks by over 10%, both in the paint and behind the three-point arc. Juniors Leah Porth and Nikki Arneson, along with sophomore Katie Ludwig, contributed an even total of 50 points to the Titans' win. Oshkosh will be facing UW Eau Claire in Eau Claire tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the WIAC Championship. That's all for this week's update. You can find more information on UW Oshkosh's athletic page. Stay tuned.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, Kitty Cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that? This one? No. Were you texting and driving again? Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Welcome back to Titan TV News. Do you have a ton of extra money just lying around? Well, then you might be interested to hear that Edward VIII and Wallace Simpson's luxury home in the Bahamas is now up for grabs. The home was listed on the market for a cool $8.5 million. The gated home has 4 acres of land and 15 bedrooms. The master bedroom and office space is lined with white mahogany from Honduras that was milled in England. The house also features a beach house that is comfortably close to the Baja Resort and Casino.
There are quite a few events for UW Oshkosh students coming up next week. Winter Carnival festivities begin Sunday with ice sculpting from 1 to 3. Monday is broom ball from 4 to 7. On Tuesday, be sure to show up for trivia night. On Wednesday, the Winter Carnival will be hosting the musical Chairs and Human Battleship. All Winter Carnival events are located in the Reeve Ballroom. The theater department is in full swing with their production of Beast on the Moon, written and directed by the university's own Richard Kalowski. You can catch the show tonight or tomorrow at 7:30 or March 5th through the 17th at 7:30. And lastly, March 8th at 2. For more information of any of these events, please be sure to check out the Reeve Union calendar online.
Well, that's all we have for tonight. Be sure to catch the first episode of Breaking Sound, which airs right after this.
And be sure to tune in next Friday at 4 p.m. for another riveting episode of Titan TV News.
Have a good night.
Hello and welcome to Talking Pictures. I'm Andrew Mertens.
And I'm Gideon Patrick.
And we've got so much to discuss tonight, from trailers and box office summaries to Oscar talk and other film news that you'll definitely want to stick around for.
So sit back, relax, and let's get right into the show. We're going to start by taking a look at Pixar's upcoming film Onward that comes out on March 6th, starring Tom Holland and Chris Pratt as elf brothers who go on a quest to discover magic so they can bring back their father.
So let's take a look at the trailer and see what it's all about.
Happy birthday, Mr. Adult Man!
Oh, Mom! Ugh, gross. What was Dad like?
His beard was scratchy. He had a goofy laugh.
I wish I'd met him.
I have something for you from your dad.
It's a wizard staff.
I wrote this spell so I could see for myself who my boys grew up to be.
This spell brings him back.
Back to life?
He wanted to meet you more than anything.
Holy toot of Zadar! How did you...
I don't know! It just started!
Hang on!
Dad?
Just don't top part! Dad, you are in your house! Oh, boy! We've only got 24 hours to bring back the rest of Dad. We're going on a quest. All quests start with the Manticore, the fearless adventurer.
You mean Corey? She's over there.
Quick! Somebody help me! These Griffin nuggets were supposed to go out minutes ago! That's the Manticore?
You guys are in trouble big time.
Get in the vehicle. I'm escorting you home. I'm giving you to the count of 3.
Okay.
Wait, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Son of
I'm looking for my sons.
Oh, they went on a quest. But don't worry, I told them about the map, I told them about the gym, I told them about the curse. I forgot to tell them about the curse!
The what?
Your boys are in grave danger! Hold on! How do your boys do in a crisis? Oh no! We're dead!
Not great.
I can't do it. We're not gonna see you, Dad.
You can do this. I believe in you. My gut knows where to go, don't you, boy? Yes, you do.
I'm on my way, boys. Just stay out of trouble.
So, Gideon, what'd you see in that trailer there?
I mean, it's Pixar doing what Pixar does, doing some heartwarming stuff, some humor, some comedy. Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, who, I mean, have been dealing with Marvel and Disney a lot lately and coming in to do some voices for Pixar. I mean, it looks great. I'm a huge Pixar nut. I'm ready to see anything they'll put out.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to agree with you there. I, again, love Pixar. Even when I was a kid, Toy Story was the big thing for me. I was so obsessed with, movies like that. But like you said, a great amount of, mixture of humor, feel good, family friendly stuff. So it's definitely a film I'll be interested to see with some of my family as well. Even my little 9-year-old sister as well. I'm sure she'll really get a kick out of that one.
I also have a sister, a 9-year-oldish sister, and she's I'm sure pumped to see this. And it's the type of film that you kind of take the families to, and that's kind of Pixar's game. Instead of taking with these more adult films where you might be only getting 2 or 3 people to go see it at a time, they're getting families of 5, 6 people all going. That's how they make their money, and I think it's a great box office strategy, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so stick around, and when we come back, we'll give you a summary of the latest